You've felt this before, and maybe never understood why. Everyone around you is arguing about a game, voices raised, emotions high, and you're just sitting there quietly wondering why it matters so much. You can watch a match, you can appreciate the skill, but you don't feel that pull, that urgency, that need to check scores, memorize stats, or defend a team like it's your identity. Sometimes people look at you like something's missing, like you're supposed to care more than you do. And a small part of you wonders, why don't I feel what they feel? Most people misunderstand this completely. Not obsessing over sports doesn't mean you lack passion. It usually means your mind is wired to attach meaning somewhere else. This isn't disinterest, it's direction. People assume sports obsession is just entertainment, competition, or culture. But that explanation is surface level. Because if it were only entertainment, everyone would feel the same pull. They don't. Some people feel adrenaline when a team wins. Others feel nothing. So the real question isn't, why do some people love sports? The real question is, what psychological role the sports play for the people who do? And more importantly, what role replaced it for you? You might be someone who watches games occasionally. You can appreciate skill, but you never feel emotionally invested. You value understanding more than belonging. Maybe you learned early that watching from the outside felt safer than joining intense group emotions. Staying observant helped you read people and situations before reacting. So you became someone who studies energy instead of getting swept up in it. Sometimes you wonder if you missed out on something everyone else understands. But that's only one layer. Maybe you don't obsess over sports because your passion already has a home. Ideas, music, business, psychology, stories, systems. When others debate teams, you drift toward deeper conversations or your own interests. Your brain prioritizes meaning over ritual. You might have been praised more for thinking than for competing. Focusing on your inner world may have given you stability when the outer world felt unpredictable. Some people mistake your focus for detachment, but there's something deeper. Maybe you never followed sports culture because you rarely follow crowds at all. Trends don't pull you easily. Hype doesn't move you. Autonomy matters more to you than belonging. You might have learned early that approval was inconsistent, so you stopped using group validation as your compass. Independence protected you from disappointment. Sometimes you feel slightly out of sync with group excitement, like you're tuned to a different frequency. And if you've recognized yourself in even one of these, the next part explains why this pattern feels so natural to you. Think about this. Two people watch the same championship game. One is pacing, heart racing, shouting at the screen. The other is calm, curious, detached. Same event, different reaction. Pause. This difference is shaped by something psychologists study called emotional anchoring. Emotional anchoring is when your brain assigns emotional value to something because it became linked to belonging, identity, or reward in the past. For some people, sports became that anchor. Maybe their family bonded over games. Maybe their friends connected through teams. Maybe winning felt like shared victory. So now, their nervous system treats games like emotional events. But if that link never formed for you, your brain simply never attached that meaning. It's not resistance, it's absence of conditioning. There's another layer. Have you ever noticed how some people feel personally affected when their team loses? That's tied to something psychologists call identity extension. That's when someone's sense of self expands to include something external, like a team, brand, or group. When the team wins, they feel validated. When the team loses, they feel diminished. If you don't obsess over sports, it often means your identity never extended that far outward. Your sense of self stays internal, and that changes everything. You're not disconnected, you're internally anchored. There's a reason your mind works this way. At some point, consciously or not, you learned that grounding yourself internally was safer than tying your emotions to external outcomes, because external things change. Scores change, crowds change, people change. So your mind adopted. It built a system where your emotional state depends less on what's happening outside and more on what's happening inside. That adaptation can make you seem calm in situations that make others intense. It can make you look indifferent when you're actually just stable. And stability is not a lack of feeling, it's regulated feeling. Here's the truth most people never tell you. You're not broken, you adopted, and adaptation is intelligence. Your brain didn't fail to connect, it chose where connection mattered most. Some people feel alive in crowds, you feel alive in understanding. Some bond through shared excitement, others bond through shared insight. Both are human, both are valid, but yours is intentional. You've probably nodded along to a sports conversation before, not because you cared, but because you understood the moment mattered to them. Ironically, people who don't obsess over sports often develop stronger emotional awareness than those who do, because they observe emotion instead of getting swept away by it. Not caring what everyone else cares about is often a sign you know exactly what you care about. Most people watching this fall into one of three types: the observer, the redirector, or the independent mind, and only one of them predicts unusually high self-awareness. Which one are you?